Good morning, interwebs. It is Sunday. I had to think about that. But this is my video for Saturday, because, yeah, I'll explain in a moment. Hope you all are having a lovely day. We're having a blizzard, so I'll just preface everything I have to say with that, because I think blizzards make people cranky. Or so it seems, if me and my Instagram posts and my children are any indication. Blizzards make people cranky. And this cat is not going to help that situation because she already knocked a bunch of stuff in my office over for who knows what reason. Clearly she just didn't think I had enough things to do today. So, yesterday was Saturday, and it was our annual lighted horse parade in town, and my intent had been to vlog when I got home and tell you about the parade and all the things, because if you have been watching for multiple years, you will know that my tiny town of like less than 200 people does this thing every year where people bring their horses and they put like battery operated lights on them. They parade them up the street, and then because there's no other way to get them back, they then parade them back down the street. And the whole thing includes a big soup supper down at the firehouse, and it's all put on by the Community Development Corporation that I had been a part of, who supports our local cafe where like the local, particularly elderly, but just local people in general eat in town. It's technically not a charitable organization, but it honestly is kind of run as one. The meals are super affordable because that's what the community needs. And the way they keep the lights and heat running all winter is by having this horse parade. So, I resigned from the board last year, as you'll probably remember, and so I was not involved in any of the planning and stuff this year, but they did still ask if I would volunteer to help with the serving, which is good because I kind of have the whole how to run service down. That was kind of my main thing. So the 4-Hers volunteered to help, and so I oversaw that and all the volunteers and stick kids doing different things, and it worked out very well. It was very well attended. I think there were a couple of things of soup left. I actually left early because I was thinking that Steve had to go to work, but I forgot that he had shifted. He was supposed to have worked at 12 yesterday, but he had shifted that because I was all stressed out that he was going to work at 12, and I forgot. So I knew he was going to go in late, but anyways, he had to go to bed. He did have to go to bed. People, snow, it's infiltrating my brain. So he had to go to sleep, and then he went to work at midnight. He's yet to come home from work. We'll get to that part. So I get home last night from horse parade with my daughter, and the boys are still watching a movie, and everything's fine and dandy. And then I sit down on the couch, and I go to get up when Steve, like after the kids go to bed. I'm still kind of like, I'm not feeling super great, but I'm still okay. I was going to film after everybody goes to bed, and Steve goes to work. Steve gets up from work, to go to work, and I stand up to go and like talk to him. And I can barely stand up because my abdominal muscles hurt so bad. I can't stand all the way upright like I am right now. Like, I couldn't get beyond this, and even that, I was in a lot of pain. So, the reason for that, I at first was like, what did I do? Did I eat something? What happened? Because sometimes this will happen to my stomach muscles, and then it occurred to me that I had lifted some heavy things, and that causes me great problems. I had lifted probably 5 or 6 of the roasters full of soup. I had moved them full from one table to another. These are like the big meat roasters full, so they're very, very heavy. About 5 years ago, almost to the day, I had a C-section with my youngest kid, and I had like a super emergent C-section. I feel like there's a spectrum of C-sections and emergency. Like, people are like, it was an emergency, but it means like something was kind of happening, it happened quickly. No, I showed up at the ER. It's a whole thing. I don't really like to talk about it. So anyways, I had a very emergent C-section, and I think that because of that, my abdominal muscles are just shot. And clearly it's been 5 years, and yes, I have tried exercising and all the things, and frequently it just makes it worse. So I just have figured out that part of my abdominal region is just trashed, and I have to be careful. Sometimes I forget that, and I lift really, really heavy things of soup many times in a row, and then I can't walk for several hours. I managed to get myself up the stairs and into bed last night. I turned the heating pad on the bed because we have like a heated mattress pad. Then I slept in the fetal position all night, and by this morning I can move. I'm currently standing. I'd really like to be sitting. I'll go back to sitting as soon as I'm done talking to you, but I figure I also need to move around just because I need to. So that was Horse Parade. It was really, really successful till I got home, found out I couldn't move, and then couldn't make my video for last night because I couldn't stand to talk to you or even to go find the camera because I was just in too much pain. But the pain has subsided today. Now I have new mental pain because there's a blizzard and Steve is trapped in the town he works in, which I will talk about in tomorrow's video because there will be a tomorrow's video also filmed today. Timelines. Okay, so in keeping with the idea of me filming stories of my life, a little long story longer about Kendra for every day, I have another adorable picture of a wee me from when I was approximately 2 years old. So here is the picture I found. And there are so many things about this picture that encapsulate my childhood at that point. This actually, I can tell about when it was made because this is lattice. We had a pool, and this is like the lattice of the porch. We ultimately ended up building a sunroom on there. So when I was really little, this was a living room, dining room, and then we built the sunroom, and then that part where I'm standing right now in the picture became just the dining room. So the one thing that is notable about this, these brown chairs are the best chairs quite possibly ever. They work really well as step stools. I feel like there's still one around at my parents' house somewhere, though maybe they finally bit the dust. Maybe they are all gone, because when I was cleaning out stuff when I was there in April, I didn't see any. Huh, maybe they finally... I'll have to ask my dad. But those brown chairs, there was forever one of them in our kitchen, even when we moved, and they were like the best step stool because they were so sturdy. I had been thinking actually in my office, because everything's now, you know, in cabinets and things, and I have to climb up, and I have to frequently climb on our like dining chairs, which are bar height, which is a bit of a stretch, and hello, the abdominal pain I was discussing. If I do it too many times up and down on that chair, it will cause me like pain. So I do need a shorter step stool. Those chairs were the best. But alas, I don't think they exist anymore. And the table went far before the chairs. But the story I really want to talk about from about the time I was 2 was the time my family got a new refrigerator. That sounds exciting, huh? New refrigerators are fun. No, I'm more like a cat. The box from the refrigerator was fun. And really, it was my mom who was fun. So I was saying that, you know, that lattice work was like a porch area. Well, out on the porch area, my mom took the giant refrigerator box and set it up. It was under like the awning. And I grew up in Thousand Oaks, which is a town that nobody knew of, but now I'm assuming a lot of you know the name. Yay. Hate when tragedy makes people learn the names of new locations, but anyways, I lived in Thousand Oaks until I was in the middle of 3rd grade. And in the California desert, well, it's not really a desert, it's like mid-desert and coast, but all of California is a desert. So it didn't rain a lot there, so it was fine to have a giant cardboard box that lived on your porch. It wasn't going to get ruined, and it was under the awning. So the box went out there. My mom took an X-Acto knife and cut windows out of it and a door, and she made me curtains and hung it all up. And my sisters had an Easy Bake Oven. They are 14 and 16 years older than me, so the Easy Bake Ovens of their youth and the Easy Bake Ovens of my youth are like two vastly different things. They had the ones that looked like a little stove. It was green and it sat on the floor. It looked like an actual oven and had like fake stove parts on the top, as opposed to my generation's, which looked more like a toaster oven. So we had this Easy Bake Oven, which we never had the light bulb in. We just used it as like a play oven. So my mom moves that into the box, where she'd cut the little windows and had the little curtains in the door. And I spent forever playing in this thing. It was like the best playhouse ever, and we talked about it a lot for the rest of my life. And there are so many things where a story will come up and I will go, and now it is my duty to remind everybody of my refrigerator box playhouse, because if I didn't, my mom would. So now it is just my duty to bring it up repeatedly in conversation. So that is what this picture made me think of, because I don't know if there are any pictures of me with the playhouse. I have not found any. They're all up here though. They're all up here. So I have now shared a memory from my second year of life. When I was 2 is when I start actively remembering things. I remember a lot of things about my childhood that become kind of muddy about when they happened. I do know for sure that I started remembering things when I was 2. Because when I was 2, I also fell into a swimming pool. I was riding my big wheel around that pool I said we had while my sister and my mom were cutting these big trees we had with chainsaws. They were like trimming them. And I was riding my big wheel around and around and around. Not my big wheel. I was riding my red tricycle around and around and around. And the wheel of my red tricycle caught the pool and I fell in. So, yeah. Not a huge fan of water, as one can imagine, because that is not a fun 2-year-old memory to have. But my mom did hear me and jumped in and rescued me, and then was nice enough, as I'm screaming and crying about my poor tricycle, to go back into the pool to rescue my tricycle as well. That it was never the same. It was always rusty, and at that point I basically quit riding it. But it lived in our backyard until I went to college. So, you know, that's the thing. Okay, enough of me reminiscing about things. I'm gonna go and drink some more hot tea and cuddle on the couch and wait for the snow to pass. We'll see what the rest of today brings, and I will tell you about what it brings in the vlog that I make later today, filling you in on all of today's activities and a memory from when I was 3-ish / just general tiny childhood. Okay, hope you all are having a nice whenever you see this, and I will talk to you later. Nighty night.